What's good? What's good, man? It's your man, Sir Willoughby. We got Tracy Adams in the building. How you doing? How you doing? Tracy, you
Doing
can
good,
introduce
man.
yourself.
I'm doing well, man. Just glad and blessed to be on with you. Start our first episode.
Start our first episode, man. My name's Sir Willoughby. I'm a representative of Willoughby Investment Group in Country Wall Street. Tracy,
Tracy Adams. I'm founder of Country Wall Street LLC.
and give we're gonna give y'all our reasons and our introduction why we really got started. So getting to know Tracy. Tracy, you give a little background to let everybody know, how what's your field and your expertise.
Yeah, I have my undergrad in actually marketing and advertising from UGA. As you know, I've been teaching for 20 years. You're one of my
Yep,
students back in sixth, seventh grade.
yep.
And when I started my journey on investing, you were the first one I thought about. I was like, he has the intellect and the drive to do this with me. And it's been a seamless fit since then.
Yep.
I started back in 2020, March of 2020, when COVID came along and it shut everything down. So there was really nothing I could do. So I
Okay.
decided to just delve into investing, not having a clue what I was doing. And the rest is history, man.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. And like you said, we've been knowing each other for longer than a decade. So we've been locked in since seventh grade. You was my teacher. You one of the best language arts teachers that we had. And you really made the class fun. So we latched on to you. Growing up in high school, you became my high school baseball coach. And you was
Yeah.
our football coach. So
Yeah.
we got into good. So when you hit me, and Tracy was, I ain't, I'm not, I'm not no good guy. I came from the streets. I had, recently just changed my life over, and everything that I've been going on is trying to unlock financial freedom. And Tracy came to me, I think it was what, end of 2021. He would
Yeah.
just hit me like every day. It was hitting me every day, sending me messages and videos to watch. Hey man, check this out on YouTube. And I told my now wife, it's like, man, my school teacher, man, we cool, but he keep talking about this investing thing.
Yeah.
And so you sent me John Hope's. It was an interview he
Hmm.
had, and John Hope said, "Hey man, if you a guy from the streets, you don't know you could be a businessman." And I always wanted to be an entrepreneur and a businessman. I was a good salesman, and when I did start working, I was good running somebody else's business.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey, I need to do it for myself. So when I heard John Hope Brown say that if you come from the streets, you might can run a Fortune 500 company. You just don't, you ain't got the intellect. And it was the Wall Street Trapper. Shout
Hmm.
out to Wall Street
Yeah.
Trapper. you sent
Definitely.
you sent me yeah, you sent me the Wall Street Trapper interview and how he broke it down in that first interview. And I think that was his first real big interview that he ever did.
Yeah, I
And
think so.
it made so much sense. And in 2022, I put my first little few bucks in the market, and I dove in like Tracy, not knowing a thing about the market. And it really fell in love with it ever since.
Sir.
So we're gonna tell you, Tracy, what really drove your interest into investing? Like what really said, hey, this is the thing that I'm going to do. This is the thing that I feel like I'm going to put my whole soul purpose in and my focus. What made you
Yeah.
what made you do that?
Growing up as, in the black culture, we really haven't been taught finances and investing or anything like that. But as you get into your corporate careers, in education, yeah, you get salary steps and investments along the way, but it's not enough to sustain you and push you over so you can retire. All I knew
Mm-mm.
was like my mom telling me, go to school, work hard, work 30 years, retire, get the pension or whatever. And I'm like, no, I don't want to 60, 65, retire, then maybe have 10, 15 years left. That didn't sound like a cool
Nah.
deal to me. So I was
Okay.
trying to find other ways to supplement my income, regular income, have passive income, and also want to, like I said, I'm an educator by heart. So I want to spread
Hmm.
this knowledge to other people. As you know, for 4 years, I've been on YouTube and Facebook just giving out free courses, having people sign up,
Yep.
writing, you know what I'm saying? The screenshots of whatever our gains and losses or whatever. And it's just to educate the community, man, even not even the black community, but people in general, to unshackle yourself from that 9 to 5, man. Like
Facts.
with that mentality of we have to go into work for someone else in order to be financially free. Because you're not, because your salary is capped. And investing
Yep.
your salary is not capped. And
Facts.
that's, man, I don't sleep. So
Right.
4 hours of sleep per night. But hey, everything that I'm doing, man, is focused on getting financial freedom for my friends, family, loved ones, and community, man.
That's great, man. That's amazing, bro. And like what really drove me in, like again, you pounding me with those YouTube videos. And then once I got into it and dove into the interest of understanding how money moves and operates, I was like, okay, I never knew about money like I thought I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, shoot, I want to be rich and wealthy in my life, but how can I do that? And I don't even know the economics or the basics
Yeah.
of solely investing for the long term. So it really drove me into it. I was like, hey, I got kids. My mom never knew this. My dad never knew this. Nobody ever taught me, or like you say in our community, nobody came in and said, hey man, you need to start when you get your first job at 18, start putting a few bucks back in the stock market. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody
Definitely.
told me that. So I, coming from the streets, I'm like, man, I'm thinking about all the opportunities that I could have had when
Mm-hmm.
I had money. So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna blow this opportunity this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is like how Wall Street Trapper put it. This is the real legit hustling. So when I really started to learn it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch CNBC. I'm gonna watch it every day.
Seriously.
I'm gonna watch it every day. I watched it every day till I just understood the basic terms of the market. And I was like, I have to build this. So my kids, they got investing platform portfolios. My wife, she has her own portfolio. So I
Mm-hmm.
said, this is going to be the sole fundamental foundation for me to build generational wealth.
Okay.
And it's the only way.
Yeah. Only way, man. Especially think about inflation. People always complain about inflation. If you're not beating the inflation rate every year, your dollar is getting less and less
It's getting
every
less
year.
and
Your dollar
less.
is not going to be worth what it should be. So you
What it
have
should be.
to
Yep.
invest to beat inflation.
Yep. When I learned percentages, I was like, hey, and I looked at my statement from my bank account, and they only gave me a penny for the money that I had in
Yeah.
there, or 5 cents. But
Yeah.
they take the foundation dollar, they give a whole dollar a month. So you actually taking more than you gave me back in interest rate per year. So I
Yeah.
was like, hey, I could put my money on a nice platform like Fidelity, E-Trade, and get 4% on my money just
Just
for a
for it
send
sitting in there.
just for a sender. Oh, okay. So now I was like, now I understand how this money game is supposed to be played and how it's supposed to operate. Your money's supposed to always be in a rotation to where it's making some type of money,
Yeah.
or just, you can't be afraid to take the risk.
We'll talk about that later. Risk tolerance. Yeah.
So Tracy, what's your why? You want to tell the people what's our sole reason in the market and why we came up with our company Macquarie Capital and Country Wall Street.
Like I said, I want to eventually, maybe not myself, but maybe, people on my lineage, you, to become a big time financial um, conglomerate, like
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, your Warren Buffett's,
Yeah.
maybe we'll get on that scale one day, but just to build that wealth and have that generational wealth, man, to be able to sustain our, our well-being and achieve our life goals.
Facts. I'm the same way, brother. And once I learned on Warren Buffett, when we speak about him, I dove in and I studied him. Like, this guy's been investing since he was 11 years old.
Yeah,
He had to jump on everybody.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
He had to jump on everybody. And if I can teach my kids how to, just solely invest, at the age of 11 or 15 or 16 or however old they are, they can be the Warren Buffett also without even trying. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? You
yeah.
can have $1 billion by the age of 21 just by solely investing if you put your money in the right places. So that's a part of my soul why building a company that can eventually be publicly notarized on as a Warren Buffett. So when we talk about the future, yes, we plan on building Macquarie Capital to one of the biggest investment companies in the world. And no, we're not financial advisors, so we're gonna put that disclaimer out there.
Go back and watch the disclaimer at the beginning.
Yeah, we're not financial advisors, but we like to give people educational um, information on the market and where they should put their money and where we put our money because we be knocking heads.
ASTS Space Mobile. ASTS is a institution. They design and manufacture satellites to enable space-based cellular broadband and mobile phones.
hmm
And this is one that we've been tracking for a while. They actually have signed an agreement with AT&T and Verizon to have 100% coverage across the United States. And are you able to pull up a chart real quick?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. As you can see, I identified this way back, man, at like $9. I was scared to pull
Yeah.
the trigger on it. You wait and wait and wait, and the stock is climbing, climbing, climbing. It eventually hit around $40.
Yep.
So, you can't be hesitant in this game, man. You got to go ahead and pull the trigger, especially when you see the chart. We'll explain the moving averages later. But the ASTS is the leader right now in the space game. And with the different launches that's coming on, it's just going to continue to propel higher and higher. What do you have to add
Yeah.
to that?
Like you say, man, we caught ASTS back in. I would say you alerted it to around April.
Yeah.
Around April, ASTS alerted. We threw it on our watch list immediately. Broke down the levels, and once they got the deal with NASA,
Hmm.
we really got more interest into the stock, and we was like, okay, they're in the space nobody's been there. They're in the space where nobody's been there, and they're doing something that's trying to elevate the global communication for the world. So we dove into the data. When we dove into the data, we matched it up with the chart. It made sense. So yeah, we could have caught the bottom, but we
Hmm.
didn't catch the bottom, and the bottom is not is not identified. But if you see around the $17 range and the $21 range, we definitely seen that, and we caught that pull back. We caught
Hmm.
the gap up, and we've been riding her ever since.
Yeah.
We've been riding ever since.
This stock, um, so 2 weeks after AT&T decided to join the fray, Verizon joined in and they committed $100 million to ASTS, $60 million, $65 million in commercial prepayments, and another $35 million in convertible notes. And like I said, this anytime you get government contracts, this thing is huge. Everybody knows about Elon Musk and
Yep.
ASTS. On September 12th, they launched 5 satellites on SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket
5 successful satellites.
successfully.
Yep, that was successful. And I can give a broader explanation on what these satellites do. These satellites are for broadband. These satellites will say, hey, if I'm somewhere out in the rainforest and my regular 5G towers are not working, I can easily go on my iPhone and I can easily press down. And if I'm an ATT or a Verizon carrier, I can switch my service from the 5G towers to now connect calls from the satellite anywhere in the world. And this is amazing technology. And I think and we really got a good hypothesis that this is the new way.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Definitely.
There's another one I want to show you guys. We just discovered this one maybe 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Rocket Lab.
Yep. Rocket Lab.
A bull case review of
RKLB.
Rocket Lab. On October 14th, it was trading at 988. It's been hovering that level. It
Mm-hmm.
actually has hit $11. So Rocket Lab is a space launch company that went public in 2021 and specializes in small satellite launches. Known for its Electron rocket, the company focuses on frequent and cost-effective missions to deploy satellites in orbit. Now, just like Al said, what's great about this, you're going to have access to directly connect your cell phone to the satellites in space. You won't have to
Yep.
worry going about the carriers or hitting cell phone towers. It's going straight down. As you know, we just had a couple natural disasters, no cell phone service. These companies are going to eliminate that problem for us. They
Yep.
always say necessity is the mother of invention. And I think we're on the ground level of this new technology, and we're not financial advisors, but we do see a lot of promise in these companies.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, Rocket Lab has secured a $500 million contract with the U.S. Space Force, and it's launched over 40 missions since 2017. Um, it has the potential, from the research we've done, to grow its revenue to over $1 trillion.
Yep. Yep.
And for a $9 stock, $10 stock, man,
I would say I can say you fairly early.
yeah, yeah. I think we're definitely early on this one as well.
Let's take a look at the chart. Let's take a look at the chart. All right, here go the chart on RKLB. And if you look at this chart right here, it's simply beautiful.
Definitely.
What it's back in April or May, around the same time when we called ASTS, it was at a bottom, and since then, like you said, it's been hovering around that $9 and that $10
Hmm.
range, and it
Hmm.
plays it real good. So, like I said, we're not financial advisors, but us, what we do with our money, we are now seeing this as an accumulation zone, and
Hmm.
and it can do anything. It can break out or it can break below. But from the with the EMAs lined up, and the MACD giving us bullish, it could pull down just a little bit, and that will be a good zone where we'll pull the trigger and start buying some more shares of this.
Yeah, I'm looking at a good accumulation around between $9.50 $9.
Uh huh.
If you drop down, I see another one, $7 to, well, is that 760? About
Mm-hmm.
650.
About six
Yeah,
fifty at the
I say any,
lowest.
honestly, I say anything under $10 is a buy. Just to
Yeah, and
accumulate your time.
I also want to add RKLB with this run up, this recent run up that has just now put them in profit for a max all time, with their shares. So they don't want to fall back down into that negative range. So, it's a lot of insiders who are buying this, and it's a lot of big institutions who are putting their money inside of this play.
Now, we haven't spoken about options yet, but Al is like the guru of options. I'm not too well versed on options, but when we bought shares of RKLB, he recommended we buy
Uh-huh.
options. We bought 3 options on RKLB, and we're up over 122% in 4 weeks on that.
Yep. Just a buy and hold. We caught a good leap option. Gave us some time, so for the play to play out. And these two companies, ASTS, RKLB, and the next company that we talk about, they all report earnings in November. So
Yes.
this is a good crucial zone that maybe we can play the turn all the way up into earnings. Even if they report good or not, we will still make our money on it. And when they fall back down, a good report, a not good report, we can still get back in and play it up for the next run.
Definitely. This next one we're looking at is Lunar, LUNR.
Mm-hmm.
$4.8 billion NASA contract sent Intuitive Machines rocket to the moon. Man, this was one that we found just on the back of the other ones we had. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, these can't be the only two that are in the space race, and they're not. There's about 15 right now that we've
Mm-hmm.
looked at. RKLB, what was the date on this? September 28th. At September 28th, it was up 77% that week.
Yep, they kind of played they kind of play how we really got on Lunar. It kind of played as a sentimental play for when the AST after the AST launches,
Mhm.
and it ran up. You seen it doing what it was doing. It was at a cheap price, and they also got a NASA contract.
Yeah, a government contract. It says, commenting on the award, Intuitive CEO Steve Altimus explained that the company expects to be paid $150 million initially to develop the communication satellites. And the vast bulk of the contract, $4.8 billion worth, will come later once the satellites are launched and operating, and NASA begins paying Intuitive to provide communication services between GEO and the moon.
Mm-hmm.
NASA will pay the company for minutes on the network, something like 1 million minutes per year. If you guys can think back when we had, cell phone services early, and you had to pay per minute, you know how that could add up quickly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's the way that they're running this contract right here. So it said ultimately it will take Intuitive roughly 10 years to entirely get that $4.8 billion award, with the initial 5-year contract running through September 30th, 2020 and 2029, and an optional 5-year contract that's tacked on to the end that would run through September 30th, 2032. This is
Mm-hmm.
definitely a long hold for us. We're going to add and communicate as the stock falls.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you want to take private as you go.
Yep. Yep.
But this is, if you're talking about financial independence and having money later on that you don't have to worry about because you're getting passive income, not financial advisors, but we think that these are some great options for you.
Great longs. Let me go back up. Let me point this out to him. Go up.
Okay.
Go up a little bit. Right, that way say what this means for investors. It says over the course of a 10-year contract, 4.8 billion averages out an extra 480 million a year in annual
Wow.
revenue. That's roughly quadrupling initiative Lunar's current $158 million a year. So they not only finna get a quadruple in earnings and revenue. So they could be a profitable company before the 10-year contract even expires. So
Man,
this is a it's a gigantic win. It's just a gigantic win, and they have one of the biggest contracts that we've seen come through. So
anytime
that
that investors come in and provide you with more revenue than you're making on your own, they believe in your company.
mm-hmm.
Uh, if they're expecting to give you $4.8 billion, what do you think they're expecting on their end from this, from your services? So
Correct.
you know, it's common
Let's
sense
check.
to me.
You got anything else to add? Check the chart out.
No, not on that.
Let's check the
Give it
chart. Let's see. All right. All right. It's LUNR chart. And if you can see, she's accumulating heavy too in the zone that she's at. What's that price range right there? It's like
This
it's an
is
eight.
824. Yeah.
between 824 and the 825, I mean the 725 range, she
Mhm.
bouncing real good right there. And this has been in this range for longer than the other companies have been in their consolidation stage. And
Mhm.
this consolidation stage, I think when Lunar breaks out, I think it will break out way past $12. Easy.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing about it, a top-down approach is you find out what sector is hot. Then you go within that sector and find out which stocks are hot.
Hmm.
I've noticed that all of these space stocks run together. So you remember the one day last week, you said all
Uh-huh.
the space stocks were green. We had 15 stocks that were green that day.
Yep.
When they run together, they just run together. The whole sector, people are investing money into that same sector.
Yep.
Um, right now, the hot sectors are Chinese stocks, which kind of tricky, but
Yeah, they
definitely
tricky.
space and AI are, and they work together, are the hot sectors right now. But we're definitely jumping into the space. We think we're on the bottom level on this one.
Yeah, I think we stumbled across a new sector, and what made us think about this when they ran that, like Tracy said, when they ran all 15 ran that day, and we took a deep dive and we seen what type of money was inside of these plays, and it's a lot of big hedge funds that got money and lots of shares in inside of these companies, and they gave us insight on, okay, what is Wall Street looking for? Is Wall Street looking for a new wave to jump on, because the AI wave is kind of running thin? You
Hmm.
see, you see, you got everybody creating robots now.
Yeah, yeah.
So they looking for what's a new initiative, and so what's something that's going to drive the industry, and how can we get that until before the rest of the crowd gets on it or get to it on the street. So I feel like if you come across our video today,
Hmm.
or if you come across it before January of next year,
Yeah,
I think you will beat the street. You'll beat the street, and that's just my personal advice, not no financial advice. But yeah,
definitely.
Lunar is beautiful right now. You see how she gapped down. If she breaks this resistance and breaks down, that's a strong at that gap. What's that, like 646? At that area, she should be able to consolidate and come back up and fill that gap. And when she fills that gap, just know you should be in at that 640 range, that low $7 range.
Yes, sir. We have one more space stock I want to share with you guys.
Okay.
Is Sidu Space, SIDU is the ticker symbol. Sidu Space awarded $2 million contract for U.S. Navy propulsion program.
Mm-hmm.
This is August 20th, 2024. Sidu is a provider to end-to-end precision space infrastructure solutions that include satellite data as a service on its proprietary on-orbit platform. The contract is valued at $2 million and marks the third time that Sidus Space has been chosen as a subcontractor for this customer. Like I
Mm.
said, NASA, U.S. Army, U.S. Navy, all those government industries, they're looking for these side industries, these side companies to help them do what they need to do. As you know, satellite imagery, satellite communications is huge in the military,
Yep.
the
Yep.
defense sector. So you can imagine they could put very little money based on their budgets into these companies to help them, you know, position themselves on a global scale to protect the country and just take them to another level.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And if we all know what's going on in the world right now.
Hmm.
We got war everywhere. We got America entering the Israel war, without saying they are, but they are.
Yeah.
You still got Ukraine Russian war. You got people breaking away. You got NATO trying to get stronger. So we know that people on the brink of war. You got tension in Korea, you
Mm-hmm.
got tension with China.
Yeah.
So America, and with them being in a new wave, because we all know that our defense structure does need to be updated.
Hmm. Definitely.
With comparable to the other countries, So with them being first in this and trying to award this, that would be very good for the country. And the money, I just follow the money. It's the same way with any other play you get in. Follow the money.
Yes, sir.
The war is definitely coming. Not to scare anybody up. Let's check the chart.
Okay.
That's not to scare anybody up or anything, but just know we got to be aware of what's going on in the world. Yeah, so right now, if you check out Cedu, it's at that bottom. It's at that bottom.
Bottom.
And the bottom can't be called. It can go farther down. So we just not gonna say that. But right now, you see how I got a double bottom. And
Mm-hmm.
that confirms to me on the chart that, hey, maybe we need to be start accumulating down here. So now we can be first in this play. Go ahead, Trace.
Now, while you can't predict a bottom, if you see a stock form a base like this where price bounced up, came down, base, that's a floor.
Mm-hmm.
So we can technically call it a bottom because it's using these levels as support to bounce off
Mm-hmm.
of to go back up. So one bounce, one test, two tests, three tests. We think it'll go on back up and cross over these EMAs and hit that $19 it did back January of 2024, just with some news. It definitely has this gap to fill
Okay.
from $5 to
That's a big gap.
what's that? Almost $8, $7.
Yeah, that's about $8. Yep. That's a big gap.
Yeah, huge, huge.
And if you can see, it has these sharp spikes in the chart. It
Hmm.
had that big chart, that big spike where the gap it got to fill, and it came back down and tried to almost filled it
Hmm.
and spiked up and sold back off. So we seeing these spikes in the chart. We know it want to break. I would look for what's your red EMA right here, Tracy?
That is the 200 at
I'm looking
385.
at 385. I'm looking for it to come up and consolidate around the 200 at the 385, 350 range. If it does that and it meets up with the 50 and they cross over, I think we could be on the upside and start getting some movement in this play.
Yeah, I mean you're looking at hit $8. You're like 400 or 500% once it gets into this blue sky territory right here,
Mm-hmm.
based on the past, the back testing. I mean, there's a lot of room to grow. That's not major resistance. That was a spike up. That's not major resistance at all. Like I said, it's got to fill that gap. And then we'll be looking in this area, $12, which that'll be what? Almost a 600% return if it does that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You would just,
$100, invest $100, get 600. I mean, who wouldn't
hey,
take that?
hey, and it's all about having patience in the market. Sometimes it takes a while for your play to play out. It may not happen overnight. When you swinging or when you getting into play or even investing, sometimes you have to sit in the paint and wait for your play to play out. So
Yeah,
we looking for this. If you do get in this, I'm looking for this to play out around the beginning of November to
yeah,
start really get some traction.
yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So that's all we pretty much have for you guys today. I hope you guys hit the like button, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell because we're gonna start dropping some bangers for you weekly. This is the Monday Market Madness.
Yes,
It's your
sir.
boy, got your boy Sir Willoughby in here,
Tracy Adams.
and
Do it.
thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.